So here we are in Unit 14, and we're getting close to finishing the course, which means this week I will probably upload 2, possibly 3 units, which would mean by the end of next week, by the middle of next week, you'll have the rest of the units up to Unit 18. And Unit 14, Formal Analysis, is probably, I would say, between 12 to 15% of the exam. It's not the biggest one, but it gives you a break from writing big chords, and you need to analyze a small dance. Let's say one like this, or one like this. And you'll be putting in some capital A's, some capital B's, possibly another capital A. You'll be putting down some phrase marks. They ask you, put in the phrasing with slurs, okay? You will be putting in the cadences, and I'll teach you how to find those cadences. It's not very difficult. You'll be putting the key down. Make sure that you put down the key. And these are all models. These are all models of the 4. There's 4 varieties of dances. The forms. These are called forms. Okay, the dance forms. You want to know, is it binary or is it possibly a ternary? There's 3 types of binaries, 1 type of ternary. As the name implies, you have 3 sections, and that's perhaps the easiest to spot. But so is the regular simple binary. Simple binary sounds to me like there's 2 parts, yes, A and B. A and B. These are the perhaps ternary, and simple binary are the easiest. Rounded binary is a little tricky, rounded binary, because you can get mixed up with ternary. So that's not good. Let's go back. Here are the 5 dances that you need to memorize, okay? The first one is minuet. Minuet. And I put a number 1 here. Minuet, 3/4 time or 3/8 time. Very, very easy one to spot. Perhaps the most widely known minuet. I'll play it. So you get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That was by J.S. Bach, grade 3 piece that you probably played when you were all kids. And it's a typical minuet, 3/4 time, fairly slow, moderate tempo, not fast, triple meter, 3 meter, 3/4, 3/8. Phrases may begin with an upbeat. That means a pickup note, a pickup, or anacrusis it's called, okay? A pickup note means when you get like this, that's a bourrée, that's a different dance, but it has a quarter note pickup or 2/8 note pickup. This is another pickup right there, and this is another pickup. So minuets can go like that, and so you get beat 3 coming in as a pickup, like that. Second one is called sarabande. Now these don't go in any particular order, and when you're reading this, please read it over. These dances gives you a beautiful historical perspective on them, and what you need to remember is they're coming from a bunch of dance suites. That's a collection of dances, mainly for the courts in the Baroque, but that's in history. You only need to know how to spot them and what type it is. So the first one is minuet, we looked at. The second one is called sarabande, French word, right? Just like minuet, because these were mainly for the French courts. Sarabande, 3/4 time, moderate tempo, hey, triple meter. This is the same as a minuet. No, it has a stressed or prolonged second beat, a dotted second beat. So it sounds like this. This one was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. And it's usually slow, and it's usually in minor key as well, in minor. Usually begins on a downbeat, so no pickup like this one. Again, the difference, big difference. Sorry. Etc., etc., etc. You get 1, 2. Here's the beat. Prolonged. You would say saraband because it is that rhythm. Right there. That's the second type. This is a little unusual. It's not often that they put one on. Maybe every fourth exam you might see a saraband. But remember these. The next one, jig. Maybe the easiest one to spot. 6/8 time compound. Sounds like a fast piece, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. One, two. A big dotted quarter beat, and it's fairly fast, 6/8. 2 sets of dotted quarters with 3/8, 3/8, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak. Like that. Usually in compound, 6/8, contrapuntal texture. It is called a jig, J-I-G, or giga in Italian, or jig in English. Gigue is Francais, French. Again, the French dance. 6/8 time. That's the third one. The fourth one is called a bourrée. Bourrée. These are all French names. Bourrée. B-O-U-R-R-E-E. Double R, double E. Moderately fast. Little bit faster. And usually in cut time or 4/4. Cut time 2/2, 4/4 is simple meter. Phrases begin with a quarter note pickup or 2/8 pickup. So 1, 2, 3. Again, you have a pickup. There's the first beat. If you see 2/8 pickup, you have a bourrée. Okay? I think it's easy to tell these apart. If you do 4 or 5 of these without looking at the book, you will get this memorized. Okay? You have a month to do it. I think you can do it. Okay? There's plenty of time. And you're going to analyze these today. You're going to start to analyze. It'll give you a big, heavy break from the other units that you need to do a lot of SATB writing. We put that aside for now until you start doing the exams in about 2 weeks, okay, or a week and a half. So we have a bourrée. Gavotte, last one, gavotta or gavotte. Gavotte, French dance. It has a 2/4 note pickup, 2/4 note pickup. And the big difference is the 2/4 pickup versus 1. If you see 1, but if you see 2 beats, listen. 1, 2. Etc. There are 2/4 note pickup. In this one, it is a gavotte. Because the speed is about the same, moderately fast. Usually in 2/2 or 4/4, same as a bourrée. Phrases begin with a half note or half measure, 2/4 or 4/8. Don't mix all those 4 up. All right? Minuet, saraband, 3/4 time, 3/4 time, dotted second quarter, dotted quarter, second beat. Jig, 6/8. Sounds like that. Bourrée, 1/4 pickup, 2/8 note pickup. and Gavotte to beat or 4/8 pickup. Now, when you're looking for phrases, you need to remember how to get them. The first one is usually an antecedent. So we're talking about a period. A period of music is a period phrase of 8 bars. 8 bars. So we have a period of 4 plus 4. The first one is typically a question. It's called an antecedent. Antecedent comes before, right? Antecedent. Question phrase. It ends on a half cadence, like this. This is a typical period. It's on page 173. Typical phrase, 8 bars. The first one is called antecedent. Question. And the second one is called a consequent phrase. So antecedent, consequent phrase. That's a question, answer. Half cadence, authentic cadence. Typical 8-bar period. So that's a phrase structure. When you're looking at these, you say, where's the cadence? You're looking where you would take a breath. Give yourself the benefit by looking for rests where you take a breath. If you were singing it or playing it on the piano, you still need, or violin or whatever, you still need to phrase that. You need to finish the cadence, take hands off, and then repeat the second part of the phrase. Again, you're looking at phrase structure. These are called phrase structures within forms. Phrase structures within forms. The parallel period is called parallel because the first half of this phrase repeats in the second phrase. So the antecedent, consequent sound very similar with a different cadence. That's a half cadence. That's an authentic cadence at the end. Listen. Sorry, I'll do that again. And then, that's 1 to 5. Breathe, repeat. Oh, that's the same. Yes, it's called parallel period, but at the end it's different. So you get 5, 7, 1 at the end, authentic. 1 to 5, half cadence. But they're the same, similarity. We call it parallel period. The one that you'll be writing in the next couple of units, those are called contrasting period. Listen again, contrasting period. Because you'll be writing a different answer. I don't want you to use parallel when you're writing your music because this is too simple. You will not get high marks in the exam. You cannot get high marks unless you try contrasting period, okay? I'll tell you that right off the bat. But when you're analyzing them, you will get lots of parallel and lots of contrasting period. So this one starts like this, melody, A major, 1, 6, 4, 5. Breathe. Let's see, second half. Wow. Well, this does not sound anything like this. So in the exam, they would say, what kind of period are they using? What kind of phrase structure? Does it repeat? And you look at it. You don't have to play it. You just say, E, C, I don't see it here. This one looks, well, a little bit, but no, it's way off. We have a contrasting period. And that is, in a nutshell, how to analyze your phrase structure. Okay? So once you find the time signature, the key signature, the type of dance, you'll be able to spot right off the bat, one of those 5. Next, you'll be asked to put in some phrase marks and find cadences in these forms. How much is it worth? 12 to 15% of the exam. I think it's an easy one, and I think it'll give you a break from all the heavy analytical work of, and also writing lots of music like you've been doing for the past 13 units, right? So this is a big break for you. Now the formal structures, you'll be dealing with 2 big formal structures. The binary 2-part, and also ternary, ABA, 3-part form. Binaries and ternary. There are 4, as I promised you. And the first one is the simplest one. 2 parts, and usually they're symmetrical, usually, but not all the time. Sometimes B can be longer than A. Symmetrical would have been 12 bars, 12 bars. 8 bars, 8 bars. That's totally symmetrical. But in this case, sometimes B can be longer. Here is one that is symmetrical. 8 bars. Remember, your beat 1 is here. That's bar 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that's unusual, isn't it? Normally, they're 8 bars, like Mozart, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8 bars. Nonetheless, the pickup note is not considered beat 1. This is. So the pickup should be at the end, should be considered part of the end, even though in this one it just doesn't. I don't know why. That quarter should have been added to here. This should have been just a half note, and these 2 should have been just 1/8 notes. So we have no, that's 4 beats. So it is. That's 4 beats. 1, 2, 3. The 4th beat is here. Okay, the 4th beat of this bar is the pickup. So bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4, bar 5, 6, bar 7. There it is. Now, how do we know again where the phrase ends? Well, more or less, it'll be right in the midway of these number of bars. Normally, if it's 8, 99% will be 8 bars. But you may have sometimes 12 bars. Sometimes it might be a strange one, like a 7-bar one by J.C. Bach, one of Bach's famous sons. So at this point, you'll be finding the first phrase ending. You could easily see the first phrase ending here, this 1 to 5, 1 to 5 half cadence. If you play it, you can hear it. Breathe. Pick up again. Every phrase must have a new pickup, because we have a pickup here. Every phrase after that will include this little baby pickup. Do not forget that. Okay? This also helps me remember where the cadence is. It helps me find it. When I see a quarter rest in a cadence, I know I look back somewhere between bar, usually 3 to 4, 3 to 4. In this case, 2 to 3. There's a cadence. Halfway through the big 8-bar period. 8-bar. Antecedent, consequent. Question and answer. Question sounds like a half cadence. It's questioning, right? You end, you say, how are you today? And that's a half cadence. I'm fine, thank you very much. And there is a consequent phrase. So, breathe, antecedent, consequent. Whoa, you have a lot of B naturals. Yes, now you're finding out the structure of a binary. binary, whether it's simple, rounded, or balanced. There's one more called balanced on the next page. The three binaries generally modulate. Modulate means they change keys. If they do go back to the beginning because they repeat, sometimes it might end on a 1 cadence, or a half cadence at the end, like 1 to 5, to go back into the beginning. You generally, binaries will modulate. So all of a sudden, he introduces from F major, you start getting B naturals, and he ends in C major. Where do you modulate to? Well, in a major, you modulate to the dominant key. Dominant key means 5. In F major, oh, that's C major. So I need a B natural. Correct. In major, we modulate to the dominant key. You need a B natural. In minor, you would modulate to the relative major, or the dominant minor sometimes. So in A minor, I would modulate to C major. In A minor, I could modulate to E major as well. But nonetheless, by the end of 8 bars, I've now got a new key. The B section, so you put a big fat capital B, big fat capital A. You could put it between the hands or at the top. Put in your 2 phrases, analyze the cadence. Put in your second phrase, analyze the cadence. Tell me what key it is and put down some numerals, 1 to 5. This one, 1, 6, 4, 5 to 1. PAC. It should just be called authentic cadence because we have 5-1 not in the original key, but we have one in the second key. So it's just an authentic cadence. The third phrase, the B section, goes back to F major because by the end, he has to give you a half cadence. Why? He has to go back home. He has to go back. And this last phrase will always be in the tonic key. So you get a third phrase, half cadence, and a fourth phrase, perfect authentic. This is your PAC. This is called perfect authentic because I have an F and an F in the outer voices. Look for the outer voices. The music is different in the B section than in the A. Therefore, this would be called a contrasting period. Contrasting because it's different. And they are symmetrical. It is simple binary. It's called simple binary, the easiest one. No restatement of material from here to be found in here. Please underline, read again, and underline in your books. The second type, rounded binary. What's rounded about it? Well, there's 2 sections, A, capital B. We have 2 sections going on, the same as this. However, at the end of B, which is right here, you look for something that's similar. Oh my goodness. I see that this repeats Mozart, right? He modulates, goes to C major. But he uses a half cadence. Instead of going to C major, he says, I'm going to use a half cadence, brings me back home to F. Nonetheless, this is not finished in itself. It needs a B section, it needs a modulation in there, and there will be secondary dominance, and also he moves to G minor. G minor. At the end, he brings back the A section. There's an inclusion of, this could be the whole thing or it could be a partial. Usually it's only 4 bars, the first 4 bars. So I see this. And then he does repeat it again. Or Paggiatura. So we have binary because there's two sections, A and B. But rounded because you have to include plus an A. So you call it A section, B section small, only in this case it's pretty big actually. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars again. And then the A section comes back at the end. That's called rounded binary. Okay? Normally they do modulate rather than a half cadence like this one. But they could do that. Balanced binary, the third type. Please put a 3 there, and then you've got your third form. This is called it's called balanced binary because again, it normally modulates. This is an unusual one because Haydn did not modulate. But he did a B section, which the B section does modulate, and it goes 5, 4, 3 to 1 in A major. Then he puts the second half of the A section. Second half is, there's a little baby star, an asterisk here, and they're saying, oh, I rewrite it here. So Haydn, he did not rewrite the first 4 bars. He wrote the second 4 bars, this part. Listen. That's what he put here. You have a balanced binary. The A section, the B section is smaller. It's only 4 bars this time, brand new key, because he's got G sharp, it's A major. And then he's got the repeat of the last 4 bars of A. So we call it A, B, plus A, the second half. Balanced binary. These are very rare, but I think 1 out of every 10 exams, 1 out of every 8 exams might include a balanced. More often, it's either simple binary, rounded binary, or the last one. The last one is called ternary form. No modulation. You can write that in. Hopefully you could see that. No modulation. No modulation. Okay, what does that mean? No change of key. Okay, no change of key. And this is in C major. You get a 5-1 perfect authentic cadence, and you get a fine written down in about 80-90% of the cases. Sometimes the composer writes it out. Okay, they write it out like this one. This one on this page is still ternary, but he said A, then B is here, and he cadences in another key. And then the A section is stapled on at the end. He rewrote it. Didn't want to write the capo al fine. So what you want to say is ternary because the A section does not modulate. It goes G major to G major. C major ends on C. The B section is in G major, and he ends in G, the B section. Brand new music, but sort of using fragments of that, but it's not the same. So B section ends on G, and then it says, da capo al fine. Go back to the beginning and end here. As soon as you see da capo, DC, you have a ternary. This one is written out ternary. It's written out A section, B section. It ends in this one D major. So G major, D major, B. This one cadences in the A section on 1. And then you have a rewritten out A section again. So we have A, B, and then A again. Ternary form. Do not get it mixed up with rounded binary. Rounded. This is A, but generally it modulates. And at the end of B, you generally have a way to go back home. Usually it's half cadence. That will get me to go back. Or it ends on the dominant, 5-1 on the dominant. But guess what? The A major triad is the dominant of D. So he sort of ends on the dominant chord that he has to go back home to the dominant 5. Here, 1 equals 5 of D. And it gets me back home to this. Not balanced, sorry. Here. Yes, the balanced one. Because this one needs to go back into D major. Okay? There's another example here. I'm not doing great now in minor. So be careful here, okay? This is A minor, modulates to C major, as I told you. Binaries usually do that, they modulate. Then at the end of B, he has, let's see. Oh, this one looks like it is simple binary. Yes. No. It is. These do not repeat from here. This is all new music, so this is a simpler binary, I think. Yeah. All right. At the end of this, there's one more in minor. You can have a look at G major in ternary. This one's ternary. And then you're ready for the formal analysis. Now I did the first one for you. I actually did a few more. I don't want to give you all the answers, but here's how I did it, okay? So this was all like your books, and it is all very clean. So I analyze it. I see a double bar line here. Normally you have to put in the double dots, and I'll tell you, most of the times, 90% of times, the A section will be repeated with double dots to go back to the beginning. The B section will be by itself, or it will be repeating with repeat dots here. You need a double bar line and repeat dots. So A section repeats, B section repeats, right? This is double dots to go back to here. So repeat this section, okay? That's the normal way. So I see that and I think, oh, well, this must be the A section. So I put a capital A. Now I did it between my right hand and left. You can put it at the top if you wish, no problem. But put in the A and B. That's first. Secondly, I look for cadences. I need to start a line, the slur, the phrase mark, because in the exam they'll say name the principal key. You can all do that. A major, I put A. Name the form. Well, we got to figure that one out. So I look. I see the midway of the 8 bars. The midway is 4 plus 4. So I look for a cadence possible. Oh, this seems like these 2 quarter note pickups, right? And then this breath mark, this phrase, this cadence, this rest. It's a resting place. That means the previous bar had the cadence between bar 3 to 4. Bar 3 to 4. That's where the cadence is. And then I have a 2-note pickup. I must do that here as well. The 2-note pickup comes back, and you have the extra 4 bars. So 4 plus 4, 8 bars divided exactly equally. That is the phrase structure. So I know I see a D sharp to E. So you have to say to yourself, you have to imagine, what keys is he going to pick on? What keys does A major pick on in order to access these cadence points? What keys can he be doing secondary dominants or modulations? And you must say it is with the circle of keys. So you put A major is here, C major is at the top, right? G, and then three sharps for A major. Well, if you add one to the right of the circle of keys, you get E major. That's his relative, 4 sharps. Now 2 sharps, go back, take off a sharp from A major. That's D major. So I have D major, A major, E major, and all the relative minors. I'll put that in. These are the 5 related keys that Mr. Turk, the composer, can access these keys in his writing. He can put in extra sharps, extra flats to give you a sense of modulation or secondary dominant. So, A section, B section, phrase, then I look, D sharp and A, and I say to myself, which one of these has a D sharp? I've got 3 already, 3 sharps, Father Charles Goes, F, C, G, plus a D. Oh, I must be going this way. One of these two have 4 sharp, C sharp minor, E major. It is definitely E major because I see D sharp going to E. There it is. So this cadence went from A major that's a 4-3. They can decorate all your cadences. It's going to be hard. You have to look for it. But this is called a 5-6-5 to 1-4-3. A 5 means it's the 5th key of A major. Oh, okay. That's the 5th key is E major. So I went 5-6-5 to 1 of 5 equals E major. And it's called an authentic cadence, AC, just authentic. 5 to 1 is authentic. This one at the end, 1-6-4 to 5 to 1. Now, this is the hard part. He had a D sharp here. He continues D sharp after that one, meaning that he's probably going to try to modulate and move to E major. However, there are no D sharps here. He deliberately leaves it out. You have to imagine that this D sharp is continuing throughout the music, throughout the harmony, it sounds. And at the end, it's a 1-6-4, 5. If you play this, right, you're all good enough to play this because this is a grade 2 or 3 piece, and I want you to play it. And then you get this 1-6-4, 5-1, 1-6-4, 5-1. Listen to it. 1-6-4. And he's in E major, authentic cadence. The B section, you put a capital B. I look, there's another pause here, another stopping, and a long note. Oh, that's a suspension. So I have a 1 in A major. I look around, make sure there's no D sharps. Oh, in fact, he got rid of it. Wait a minute. He's going back home to A major. Yes, 1 to 5, half cadence in A major, half cadence, 1 to 5. And at the end, for sure, you'll get 5 to 1 in whatever key you're in. And it's going to be a PAC. Perfect authentic because he ends on A and A in the left hand. Right hand and left hand are the tonic note. This is called 5 to 1 authentic, perfect authentic in A major. He went back home. We have a classic case of simple binary. Classical case of simple binary. Why? Because he doesn't repeat any of this music in here, so it's not rounded. He doesn't use da capo al fine, so it's not ternary. It's not any of the other binaries because he's not using rounded binary. He doesn't put A back here. Simple binary, simple binary, simple binary. This is done. So from now till the exam, you have a long time. But your mission, try every day to do two, let's say one of these every 1 or 2 days. Please do 3 or 4 of these for now. I'll be happy if you can get maybe 3 or 4 of these done and then put them into the Dropbox in your classroom, okay? So do that, and then you'll be finished more or less. You can do more later on. You can do a few more, but if somebody wants to do the majority of these and upload it, that's great. But certainly you want to go on, because we are going to go on into Unit 15 very, very soon. This one is the easiest chapter. I'm not going to have you do too much in that at all. But I will start 15%. That's coming up. Melody writing. So we have to do that. So we can be finished in about 1 more week. We'll be done. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon.